Melancholy is an integral ingredient and a shared terminal for every songwriter whenever we write songs. At some point in each of our lives, the through line that connects us all is that we experience the downward slope of emotions that lead us into a tunnel of darkness where music can be the only light. For this episode, each of these songwriters we cover shares some of the deepest moments of depression within them, including the songs of my own. Sometimes we need these moments of despair to help us channel that energy into something beautiful, to help us all find the light within. What do you get when you take two of your bands in different combinations and add a special guest to the mix? You get a live recorded music series that's been a dream of mine for years in the making. I've been a touring artist for over 2 decades, so whether I'm in a studio or out performing at clubs and festivals, music always is the magic that brings me home. My name is Nikhil, and this is Sight and Sound.
Won't you come and play? It's a good day. Won't you come and play? Cause the music won't stop if your heart just wants you to play. Cause the music won't stop when your heart just wants you to play. Long December, and there's reason to believe maybe this year will be better than the last. Can't remember the last thing that you said, so we're leaving. Now the days go by so fast, and it's one more day up in canyons, and it's one more night in Hollywood. If you think that I could be forgiven, I wish you would. Na 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 na, yeah. Smell of hospitals in winter, and the feeling that it's all a lot of oysters with no pearls. All at once you look across the crowded room to see the way that light attaches to a girl. And it's one more day up in canyons, and it's one more night in Hollywood. If you think you might go to California, I think you should. Na 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 na, yeah. Drove up to Hillside, met her sometime after 2 a.m. Talked a little while about the year. I guess the winter makes you laugh a little slower, makes you talk a little lower about the things you could not show her. And it's been a long December, and there's reason to believe maybe this year will be better than the last. I can't remember all the times I try to tell myself to hold on to these moments as they pass. And it's one more day I'm in the I've seen the ocean. I guess I should. Na 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 yeah. Na 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 yeah. Na 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 I went looking for someone I left behind. Yeah, but no one, just a stranger did I find. I never noticed, hadn't seen it as it grew. The void between us where the flame turns blue. Different places, but they all look just the same. Dreams of faces and the streets devoured by names. I'm in collision with every stone I ever threw. And blind ambition where the flame turns blue. Words dismantled and all the books unbound. Conversations, though we had another sound. I heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, that you meet me where the flame turns blue. All right now. All right now, yeah. So I venture underneath the leaden sky, see the freight train with its one view side, and then I listen as it tears the night in two, with the whistle when the flame turns blue. In the morning I will sing. In the morning I will sing. Through the lemon trees, the diamonds of light, breaking splinters on the page where I write. That if I lost you, I don't know what I'd do. Burn forever when the flame turns blue. Yeah, if I lost you, I don't know what to do. Burn forever when the flame turns blue. In the morning I will say, in the morning I will
Welcome to Sight and Sound, episode 8. We have a very special guest, Mr. Aaron Grooves Williams. How are you, Aaron?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you and to play music with you.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I know you play a very unique instrument with the marimba. I wanted to first ask you, what drew you to the instrument and what piqued your curiosity about it?
Great question. My journey started in 6th grade.
Wow.
I got in beginning band, and partially I wanted to play trumpet when I was in 5th grade and the high school came to do their little exhibition for us.
Right.
But we were broke, and I didn't even ask my parents. I'm sure they would have made something work, but I was like, oh, can we really rent a trumpet? I'm not even going to ask. But my mother knew I wanted to be musical.
Right.
So she went to the band director and said, hey, my son wants to play music. Can we get him into band? And we started on percussion because they have the big drums and everything already at the school.
Yep.
And then within, I would say 2 years, I was so drawn to the mallet percussion. Being able to make melodies with the percussion instrument using drumsticks or mallets.
Did you start with timpani or did you just start with marimba?
I started with snare drum rudiments.
Okay. Yep.
Crash cymbals, glockenspiel, all the typical stuff.
Paradiddles.
Yeah,
and the
paradiddles,
flams.
all of that.
Yep.
And within 2 months, I think, I connected so deeply to just rhythm. The snare drums, the rudiments. I announced to all my friends at lunch in 6th grade, I'm going to be a percussionist.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you knew that before piano, that you wanted to
yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And I discovered piano young because we had little keyboards laying around the house, and I fell in love with that. That was really fascinating, but it was more just kind of fun. Like, I liked to draw when I was a little kid. I liked to play piano when I was a little kid.
Well, what's cool about the marimba, it's like it parallels the piano in some ways, but then the whole way to get sound is not at all like piano. So
Exactly, right.
How did you kind of figure out the learning curve with playing marimba versus piano?
For me, how much time do you have?
I bet, right?
Yeah, because this story could go on forever. But I was blessed to have a mentor in 8th grade, my band director, Mr. Walker. And I talk about him all the time when I go and perform and travel or inspire other students.
Right.
Because he's the one that saw in me something about percussion. He saw a connection to me with melody and percussion and sheet music and reading and all of this stuff, all this interest. And he came to me and said, hey, Aaron, why don't you take this violin sonata home over winter break and see if you can figure it out? And he let me borrow a glockenspiel from the school over winter break. So I didn't have any mallet instruments at home. So I took the sheet music and I'm struggling like every good boy.
You must have driven your parents crazy with...
No, because I was in the garage with the glockenspiel.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a kid in the living room with a drum set.
Right.
And I had brothers and sisters, so it was nice for me to just kind of escape from the madness of just a full household. And by the end of that winter break, I got through that piece, that violin sonata by J.S. Bach, and I was hooked. So from there, I started learning more sheet music, more classical music. And then in 10th grade, I went to my first percussion festival in Missouri, where I'm from, Kansas City, originally. Go Chiefs!
That's right. Easy.
They didn't three-peat. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so anyway, 10th grade, I went to this all-district percussion festival, played my solo, got off stage, and the performer stepped on stage after me, and she played a 4-mallet solo. I was like, oh,
wow.
4 mallets, blew my mind.
So from this is the world I want to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mr. Walker, my band director, he showed me how to hold 4 mallets. And I would study other marimbists, looking at the album cover of Lee Howard Stevens, like, how is he holding that? And then over time, it's, how it is in the music world. You just practice, practice, practice. If you want to accomplish something, it's a question of how committed are you? How dedicated are you? Are you going to put in the time? And if you can learn from those mistakes and level up, then you can accomplish anything.
Well, Bruce and I helped you set up the marimba the night before the session, and you have to love the instrument and music to endure what it takes to set up a marimba. So my question to you is, what keeps you inspired? What keeps you still inspired to keep pushing forward and making music and just trying to create?
That's a wonderful question. I think for me, when I fell in love with the marimba, there was something about me being able to just express myself alone. It's just joyful for me to play the marimba.
Right.
And I was reminded of this during the pandemic because I didn't own my own marimba yet, but I was renting space at a percussion studio in Los Angeles. And one day, just everything was just chaotic, and I was on my way back from downtown LA. I said, I'm just gonna stop by the studio and see if anyone's there. No one was there. I went to the marimba, and I just played for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
And at the end, I don't use this word lightly, but I think I was depressed. I didn't realize this until like a year and a half later. But this period of just really darkness and everything was really heavy. And I know I'm not the only one because that pandemic was a nightmare for a lot of people. But that day I played the marimba and I was reminded like, oh, I love playing the marimba. Everything, just all the clouds went away. It felt like sunshine. I was like, I'm gonna play the marimba every week, no matter what's going on. And I love the marimba, so I played it all my life. But I hadn't been playing regularly. And that reminded me how much I missed this instrument. And that was the same year that I got this instrument and recommitted to working up old literature, finishing a lot of compositions, starting to engage with some of my ideas of being able to sing and use the marimba as an accompanying instrument, which is kind of how I met you and how we connected musically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, you are using it as a channel to kind of process emotions and kind of make light, create light. So tell me what that process is like for you. When you're in those places, what draws you to make music, to create and get into that place?
Yeah, I think, and this is so easy for someone like you to understand because you're a songwriter.
Right.
And everything you write comes from within somewhere. And sometimes you have to write to get what's in out.
Yes.
It's like you don't really have a choice in the matter.
Yes.
Right. So for me, it's kind of the same. I'm in a different stage of life now, but especially in my college days, in my early 20s, it was all about trying to become a great marimbist. I was so inspired by all the marimbists that I saw playing with four mallets and doing all these phenomenal things like Lee Howard Stevens, Gordon Stout, Kevin Bobo, Shi Wu, like all these crazy, amazing marimbas. Like, I want to be able to do that stuff. So for me, it was a technical pursuit. I wanted to be able to accomplish certain technical feats. And once I got to that point, I realized that, oh, okay, when you get to a high enough level, it's no longer about competition or trying to get better because you're expressing yourself. And every single marimbist is themselves. And every songwriter is themselves. And it's like everyone expresses themselves so differently. So now it has nothing to do with competition. For me, it's just, oh, what do I want to say? And this is a tool that I can use to say it. And that kind of corresponds with my interest in other instruments. So I got into tap dancing and piano and a lot of more singing. And I play ukulele a lot more, and I've written songs with ukulele and voice.
That's
just
cool.
A lot of random stuff, because it's all about expression. But once you get to that level where you're comfortable enough playing the instrument and just expressing yourself and being able to speak conversationally, then you can use it to have a conversation, right? And you can talk to other people and talk to an audience through whatever instrument it is. But the marimba is still, that's my first love.
Well, it's such a unique sound. You're a unique person, creator, and personality in music, and I think it lends to that. But I had you hopping around on piano and marimba with us, but it was so cool also to do an acoustic session and hear the acoustics of the instrument ringing out in the room and kind of like being this other force of nature that was part of the music that we weren't used to. So I know it made everybody's ears turn. What makes your ears turn when you're listening to music or when you're listening to a composer or an instrument in general, any instrument?
Well, lately, it's funny you asked that because I've recently been getting more into sound synthesis and sound design. And I've been listening to other kind of amateur musicians, kind of where I am in terms of, not composition necessarily, but in sound design. And I've been really listening to the types of sounds people are creating using these various synthesizers and how people are placing things in their mix. And where's the kick drum compared to the bass, compared to the marimba? And how wide is the key stereo spread? Like all of this kind of stuff. That's where my head has been lately. And I've been really observing.
Like the soundscape.
Yeah. Because Stevie Wonder is one of my favorite songwriters, biggest inspirations. And listening to his albums and seeing how it's mixed. So that's kind of where I am right now in terms of just my listening and what's inspiring me. And the other really big thing is I've been searching for songs that make me feel something different from what I was really first hooked by, which is kind of the technical side of things.
Right.
Now I'm really seeking for that kind of emotional connection. But also, you can't really turn off the awareness of chord progressions.
Yes.
And the cleverness of poetry and lyrics. It can't really turn that off.
And isn't it amazing also how simple something can move you?
Yeah.
That like, it could be right under our noses and it just, sometimes it'll make me stop in my tracks. Like, I can't believe this is so simple, but it's just so beautiful. And
Exactly.
It's like this level of restraint and push and pull in the music. And I think I search for that too. It's like I have the extreme of seeing somebody that's technically proficient and then also somebody that's doing something so simply that it astounds me, you know? So I think I'm always looking for those things.
What's that song, the last song we just finished recording?
We did, that was Nick Drake, Saturday Sun.
Nick Drake, Saturday Sun. Okay, because you sent us a version of it to
Yes.
listen to. I finally listened to that just with nothing but headphones and just listened through the entire thing.
Amazing.
I was like,
Yes.
it blew me away.
Honestly, his music is one of the things that inspires me every day. I think about him almost every day when I'm writing, when I'm just kind of struggling with music or struggling or pushing forward in a positive way. I think about him all the time because he didn't really get the scope of life that I think he should have because his life was cut short, basically. And he's one of these phenomenal creators that his art lived past his life. So I love that you responded to that song like that.
Oh, it really did.
I think that's the one thing about doing this show is creating music, you know, with different musicians and seeing how everybody interprets songs that I write, but also seeing how we create and process and interpret songs that other great writers have written that we can interpret together. So I just want to say thank you so much for being a guest
Oh, thanks so
on
much for
Sight
having
and Sound. It's been such a pleasure just getting to know you and also playing music with you. And this was a very inspiring session. So I can't wait for people to hear. The next few performances are pretty spectacular. You're going to hear a bunch of great songs by Nick Drake, The Counting Crows. You're going to hear some of my originals. And I just want to say thanks, Aaron.
me. Yeah,
Aaron
likewise,
Bruce.
it's such a pleasure.
Likewise. Cheers.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to come back with a couple performances you're going to love. Thanks for tuning in. Let's keep this train moving.
Sometimes the stormy weather makes the gloom seem heavier, and I find the rain keeps falling on all the dreamers. So let it rain today. So let it rain today. Misery has a way of seeking solace in a fragile mind, such as mine. Feeling down can one day make you stronger, but will this last much longer? So let it rain today. So let it rain today. Nothing is as bad
Smoke machine?
Yeah, give me a little haze, Bruce. Give me a little haze. A little atmosphere.
There you go.
There you go.
Mood lighting. Welcome to Sight and Sound, episode 8. We have a very special guest, somebody that I worked with 22 years ago, and now 22 years later, we're working together again. Mr. Bruce Witkin, great producer, great engineer, and bassist. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I should say songwriter as well, because you've written songs.
Yeah.
You're tired of the titles now. You're like, I've got so many titles, I don't care about any of them.
Yeah, it's all good.
Well, I have a very cool question to ask you that I don't think I've ever asked anybody.
Oh, shit.
Because you and I worked together
Right.
in 2003 on my first record, and now we're working together again, and it's like so cool to work with you again.
Yeah.
Tell me, what was the most valuable thing that you carried with you in all this time making music?
Really, the thing is that I learned is when you're working with an artist, you want to make their record, not your version of their record.
Right.
And I think that's what's kept me going. You know, I've never really worked with huge people in my life, you know. But
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
but great artists throughout my career, and they've always come back because I never tried to make my version of their record.
Well, the one thing I really respect is when I did my first record, I mean, I'm sure I was a cocky little kid coming out of music school, you know, but I was like just ready to work and hustle and also learn.
Right.
And you taught me a lot because I remember having to play to a click track for the first time, and you were very patient because I did not have my time together.
Right.
So one of the things I want to ask you is, your level of patience is kind of on that Yoda guru level. How do you practice patience with music and in life? Because you are one of the most patient people I know.
I mean, I think it comes from being an artist myself and wanting to give to the artist what I would want. I remember one session once that I learned from, and I was behind the glass. And the engineer, I did a vocal track, and the engineer would stop it, and he was like replaying it in his head. And I'm like, dude, I'm behind the fucking glass. And every minute behind the glass feels like 5 minutes or an hour. And I realized that, you know, engineers, they spend 40 hours getting the drum sound, or, you know, get it up, get it right, get the performance. And I know musicians want to move.
Yes.
So if you keep it moving, then the patience is fine. You know, if you want to do things 5 times, it's cool. If you got it in the second take, it's cool.
Yeah.
But being on the other side of the glass and knowing how you'd want to be treated is, I think, the key to patience, I guess.
And when you're playing bass on a record or a gig, or even when you're producing somebody or as an engineer, it's like you're wearing a lot of hats.
Right.
What keeps you inspired or motivated to just stay driven and close to the music? Because you've always stayed close to the music. Yeah. And I think that's why our paths crossed again in such a cool way, because you've always stayed close to the music. And you know, people drift away from it and kind of like their paths take them away from what's important.
Some of them I envy.
Right. That's true. Me too.
I mean, I think that just staying with music is something you have to do because you love it, you know? And I kind of lost track of the question.
Oh, you answered it. You actually answered it.
Anybody that
Incredible.
this, you have to love it, because I hate saying this, but music is the gift.
Yes.
And a lot of times you lose sight of that, you know? I mean, whenever I start any new session, whether I'm playing bass or recording or anything, it starts with a knot in my stomach, and then I work the knot out during the session.
Right.
Every session today. It's all about, you know, because you want it to come out good, you want it to be good for everybody, and doesn't matter if it's you or fucking Paul McCartney.
Right. Well, what's cool too is everybody that was in the room when they went into the control room and heard what you did, they were all amazed. And we've been in so many studios, but I wasn't surprised.
Oh, good.
Because we had that same moment. I had those same moments with you 22 years ago. So of course. But the cool thing that I've seen with you is you've learned even more tricks.
Right.
You stay hungry and motivated and inspired to keep
Right.
doing that, and you keep digging in, and you always have solutions.
Oh, that's great.
And I don't always have those solutions. So how do you stay even keeled to just find those solutions?
Well, I think, this is my favorite thing to do, to record a bunch of guys at the same time.
Right.
I've done it from play a click track, do acoustic, scratch vocal, then you're doing the drums. So this is the most fun to
I
me.
agree.
So it's the easiest. And, when you got 4 or 5 guys playing these instruments together in the room with the speakers, you just kind of paint the picture that's going on in here. You just want to recreate that. But yeah, that's the thing that keeps me going, is just to give you guys that experience and then experience it myself.
Well, I'm looking forward for the first time making music with you,
Yeah, we'll try
with our instruments.
Okay.
And also, I just want to say thank you for putting up with me when I was a young little tyke in this industry. And
worries.
also, thank you for your guidance all along this way, because
You
you've
got
been a great friend in music. And thank you for being just a great guru in this business, because I know that you're that for many people. So I wanted to tell you face to face, and I was excited. So we're gonna make some music together. We got one more song that we're gonna make some really cool music together. And stay tuned in, because we're gonna play a really cool Counting Crows song that I love so much. Thanks for tuning in.
This circus is falling down on its knees. The big top is crumbling down. It's raining in Baltimore, 15 miles east, where you should be. No one's around. I need a phone call. I need a raincoat. I need a big love. I need a phone call. These train conversations are passing me by, and I don't have nothing to say. You get what you paid for, but I just had no intention of living this way. I need a phone call. I need a plane ride. I need a sunburn. I need a raincoat. And I get no answers, and I don't get no change. It's raining in Baltimore, baby, and everything else is the same. There's things I remember, there's things I forget. I miss you, I guess that I should. 3,500 miles away, but what would it change if you could? I need a phone call. Maybe I should buy a new car. I can always hear freight train. Baby, if I listen real hard. And I wish it was a small world, 'cause I'm lonely for the big towns. I'd like to hear a little guitar. guess it's time to put the top down. I need a phone call. I need a raincoat. I really need a raincoat. I really, really need a raincoat. I really, really, really need a raincoat. Really need a raincoat. So I say, separate ways. Another day goes by. I might find truth inside of my mind, but still I walk on water just to see your face again. I walk on just to see your face again. Tender touch is never much when you're not around. This time I say, eternity in my loss, oh you. I walk on water just to see your face again. I walk on water just to see your face again. Not another day. Not another day. Not another day without you. Without you. Without you. Saturday sun came early one morning, and the sky so clear and blue. Saturday sun came without warning, so no one knew what to do. Saturday sun brought people and faces that didn't seem much in the day. When I remember those people and places, they were really too good in the way. In the way, in the way. Saturday sun won't come and see today. Think about stories with reason and rhyme circling through your brain. Think about people in their season and time, returning again and again and again and again. Saturday sun has turned into Sundays of rain. So Sunday, sat in the Saturday sun and wept out and play? Won't you come out and play? You've been so good today. Won't you come out and play? 'Cause the music won't stop when your heart just wants you to play. Can you take all the pain while you make it rain? Do you know what to do when there's so much to lose? Could you figure for free for the price of the few? Won't you come out and play? Won't you come out and play? You've been so good today. Won't you come out and play? 'Cause the music won't stop and your heart just wants you to play.
Subscribe right here on this button below. Let's keep this train rolling.